see as a real difference. I mean, there's still lots of fanatics, but I just mean there's lots of civilized Christians who understand that maybe they're just caught up in a, you know, a nice story. That isn't even that nice when they really look at it. You know, it's not even that nice a story. It's kind of a shitty story.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of looking stuff up on the internet, I mean, anytime you're having a disagreement with someone now, it's pretty easy to Google it. And if it's a factual dispute, I mean, you settle it within a minute. Um, and then when it comes to religion, having that technology there, being able to look up parts of the Bible, really, I think, is expediting the questioning. But you're right, a lot of people just aren't willing to give up their faith because they're scared to, but I think in the back of their mind, more and more people are kind of questioning the literal sense of the bullshit.
Yeah, but that's the other dark side to it, is that people are getting less and less literal about it. They're not demanding that philosophy be literal anymore, and that part really does worry me a little. You know, the phantasmagorical element is strong, so there's a lot of that Gaia stuff or some other, you know, let's just make up and contrive some other narrative, you know, to make it all alright. You know, so maybe we won't have a god defend cancer, but we'll come up with some Gaia theory that'll defend it. Good night to Bella. Yes, good night.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Whatever.
I think you contributed a lot, probably the most, to the atheist community is the calling out on the phantasmagorical shit, because it really has, I think, grown even faster than atheism is spiritualism. I think that is replacing old school religion.
You're gonna watch Batman? You're gonna give up watching, you know, this room for Batman? But it's okay. Thank you for showing up, Gypsy. It's nice seeing you and such. And yeah, that's probably, yeah, it was nice. Thanks.
Yeah, and whenever we get close to a concept we don't fully understand, it's when the superstition comes out. And some guy in a TED Talks made a really good point how in baseball, the defending team doesn't have many superstitions, but the batters, you know, nobody's ever bat 500, and there's all kinds of superstitions that go into the batters because it's such a much more, you know, chance game. So that's the same deal with religion, is with stuff like death that we're not really too sure about. That's when it's so easy for the phantasma stuff to slip in there.
Well, especially, I mean, we're just, you know, I mean, I think we're mechanically built to find rationality in the world. You know what I mean? To find things, to make sense of things. And you're not going to be able to make sense of our existence because it wasn't required to make sense. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing intrinsically sensible about it. So, but our brain is going to try to force it into the round hole. It's going to, I don't care if this peg is square. I got to make it go in the round hole because all I know is round holes. You know, we got to make sense of it. And so that's part of it too, is I think not only is the propaganda against us, and that we are indoctrinated from a very early age to justify our existence, but our brain itself wants to do it. Our brain itself wants to validate it.
And I think that goes hand in hand with this need to be right. When I hear about quantum physics and alternate universes and everything that could exist does exist, it really just feeds into the notion that, well, if everything exists, then everything is right, because everything you ever thought should have been is. And I think that's what tempts people into those lines of thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's really something that's the theme that's going to keep rolling in my head for the next couple of weeks, I think, is just this idea that when I think about it, it's not so much having knowledge that's made the difference, between me and somebody else. It's that I don't have the programming. I never got caught up in the game. I was always I was a skeptic really early, and that turned me into somebody who, at a really young age could have figured out, or had at least had the opinion that this thing wasn't good enough. All right, I wasn't satisfied that life was explained or efficient enough or functional enough or good enough for me to be here. I mean, my brain was coming up with theories. I mean, realistically, I had these kind of thoughts running through my head that maybe I was dropped here by accident by some aliens. They ran out of gas or some other bullshit. They had to abandon me here, but they're going to come back and pick me up. Or, I was coming up with some sort of explanation for why I'm in this shithole.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody has to have some sort of phantasma going. I mean, like, Gary, there are a lot of people who quit when they're 20, and, like, you're still around, so what are you here for?
Well, I'm being a good janitor. But yeah, no, I'm here because, my dick still gets hard, so I'm still here. I mean, it's hard to just step out of the game. And once you're addicted, yeah, you're addicted. You're a player, you're looking for that comfort pie, or whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, yeah, you know, I'm still here. I mean, but, it's not going to take much to get me out of here. It really won't take a huge catastrophe to get me to bail. But, as long as the ship doesn't take on too much water, I'll put up with it.
Yeah, and then at that point, like, what's the difference, really? I mean, if you're telling yourself a story while you're doing it, or if you're just being pissed off while you do it. Mm.
Well, I'm just saying there is a difference in the sense that you still have to meet up to that equation. Like, I can be an asshole, but I can only be this big an asshole. You're still going to have to, you still have to meet the standard of your life, your existence, your impact. As a practical matter, there's still going to be that writing on your tombstone, theoretically, that's going to say, fucking useless piece of crap, or, well, he made things a little better, or, I mean, it's, you still have to do the, am I a plus or am I a negative, you know what I mean? So you still want to try to be a positive, not a negative. And you'd only do that through your impact or influence. And that's where it gets really complicated. Because you don't know what ticket to buy. You don't know what hammer to use. What tool is going to make the garden grow, kind of thing. How exactly do I make this thing happen? Do I kill Adolf Hitler, or do I hug Pollyanna? I mean, what am I supposed to do again? How am I supposed to run this life thing so I come out a winner? It's complicated. Sorry, I gotta turn my mic on. Yeah, Remy left. Oh, everybody's bailing. People just bailing all over the place here. Bailers.
I guess they don't like happy stories.
Oh shit! Again with the mic. There's a lot of shitty atheists out there, though. So I mean, this idea that atheists are practical is kind of silly. A lot of atheists are just selfish motherfucking pricks. I mean, it's like, oh, I don't have that burden or that obligation of doing right, and I don't have any threat held against me going to hell, so I'll just be a selfish fuck. I mean, they don't even get the, do unto others thing, and they don't even